This daf here on Yerushalmi Orlah in the article Oz V'Hadar edition of Daf Chavdal Amav, the first two dots, and 3 lines down from the top of the page, which in Vilna is on Yud Beis, Amud Beis, the 2 dots towards the bottom of the page, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lines up from the bottom of the page, the 3rd line after the Mishnah. So the Gemara says, Talmud Tzinon, we learned over there, and Mikvahs, and a couple other places that Mikmakas may have 7 places over Shlosh Lugin. The if you have dye water, so it's water, it's a dye, so therefore it since it's like water, it Tanakama holds it doesn't pass a mikvah by changing its color. It's because it's add some water with some dye in it. It only passes with its 3 looking like any other ma'im shuvim, like any other joint water passes mikvah. Vein posting so tami may say posting so b'shlusukim ain posting shine mara. They don't change it by change the color does not affect it. Still these 3 looking ma'im shuvim are the pasul. Now here the Pnei Moshe based on the Torah's Kohanim puts in a line which is essential, basically, to understand next line of the Mishnah in the Gemara. It's Rabbi Meir Omer. It says, "Kol posel b'shloshes lugin, posel b'shlini mara." Very interesting shita. And Meir says, if it passes by 3 lug, it's because it has a chashivas. So therefore, ma'im shuvim, even they are less than 3 lug, if they're nikar as ma'im shuvim, which they are here because of the tzeva, so they pass even with less than 3 lug, because their presence is felt in the mikvah. So therefore, you don't need 3 lug in order to passel. Even though he's not arguing that it's water, but it's water which has a hecker in it, which is the tzeva. So therefore, even less than 3 lug, it passels. Abba Braid Rab Nachman explained, Div Rabbi Meir, Mishim Shiva Nikeres. That's exactly the point. The Shiva is Niker, so therefore it's aser. Okay, so that's similar to our Mishnah. Rabbi Chuna b'shem Rabbi Abba Aser the Rabbi Meir Yerushalmi. Rabbi Meir is similar to Yerushalmi in our Mishnah. Combined with Yerushalmi, it's like Yerushalmi says in Shum Chimutz Machmitz. Yerushalmi says in our Mishnah that anything which is mechametz and metabel, I'm not going to get into the medameh issue again, is it's nicker throughout the dough, so therefore it asers, despite the fact that it's less than the shear, which normally would be a shear bittul. Therefore it asers. So here too, it's a similar idea, right? Meir says, despite the fact that it's less than the shear, which normally asers, the fact that it's nicker because the tzeva makes it gives it more significance and asers, which is a fascinating Yerushalmi hyperlink, and it makes sense. It doesn't necessarily mean right. Maybe Yerushalmi holds of each other's shita, but there's a similarity there. Again, Aser Meir Rabbi Yerushalmi. Command Yerushalmi Mishum Chimutz Machmitz, because the Chimutz is Machmitz entire dough. Keren Meir Mishum Shiva Nikeres. The Shiva is Niker throughout the mikvah. Okay. Now the Gemara goes on to a new aspect of our Mishnah. The Mishnah said that Beishamai said Av Metame, that if you have a something which is mechametz metame damea, well, I mentioned damea. Something that's mechametz metame, it diffuses its impact throughout the dough. It also diffuses tumah throughout the dough. But our Mishnah is talking about tumah, orla, and kilei kerem. So what about if it's not something which has an isser? Ad kedun davar sheyesh bo isser v'tumah. Our Mishnah is saying where there's both an isser and tumah. Ma yesh bo tumah ve'ein bo isser mao. What about it has tumah but not isser? What's its status? Good question. More doesn't resolve it. Leaves it difficult. It's a Bible issue. Okay, so now the Gemara goes on to another issue. Chimetz and Mokum Acher. It took a little bit of the dough which became chametz through a orla, and used it in order to be mechametz other doughs. Okay, so the chimetz in the Mokum Acher nase zeh aser b'zeh aser. So they're both aser, because that chimutz is still reverberating throughout all the doughs. The Ribal Rishon Ubitlo. What about if you were added more to the first dough that the and now you can no longer tell the first dough was made chametz the orlar or karam. Evidently, you had enough dough that was made chametz by something else. So Rishon Bitlo Nasa Ikar Tfela. The fascinating thing happens. The dough number one, I assume we're in Vatal Isra. It wasn't somehow where either you were over in Vatal Isra Chatchila or somehow wasn't in Isra in Vatal Isra Chatchila by accident. But in any event, so so now the first one is mutter. But the second dough from which you took and which you introduced the sour dough from the first dough and made it leavened thereby remains also. So the ikar becomes fela, meaning the ikar becomes tafel to what you added onto it, and therefore it's mutter. The tefela, the second dough from which you added on for the first dough, that remains also. Ikar, meaning in this case, means it remains also. The Isor is another case. Social truma. You have sourdough truma, shlava isa, which fell into dough. Vigbia, and there was 100 to 1, so you can negate the sourdough truma. So you took one out of there on account of gezla shevet after you was bato. Bachar niskamta isa, and then lo and behold, the dough became leavened without adding anything else. Well, that clearly indicates that the sore of truma remained there and remained active, right? Because otherwise, how did it become leavened? So whatever you took out was not the sore of truma. Yes, you took out the sore because of gezla shevet, and you gave it to Kohen, but whatever's left there obviously was mechametz, and evidently that's the sore of truma, or the ramifications thereof, right? So a fascinating quick case. Harez and muteris, it's still muter. Since you can't identify where it is, only its ramifications, so therefore the bittul remains intact. Okay? So Gemara says, okay, fine. What about the case? This case, kavasa, that's the case. It should be similar in the final case. The initial truma, if you have a fig of truma, shlaf mea, and which fell to 100. V'ugba achas man. And then you took one out because of Gezel Shevet. Again, it was bought to 100 to 1. And you took it out because of Gezel Shevet. So now, Chaka Chukra Chuma, then you recognize, now that's the fig. That fig, that was the fig of Chuma which fell in. So they mutaris. It should be mutar because you already took out one because of Gezel Shevet. So it's a very interesting question because the answer seems to be obvious. And whereas the answer says, Tama Lukar Lo Hukar Eser. No. Tama, meaning by us, in the case of the dough, you can't tell where the sourdough is. It's now diffused throughout the dough, so therefore there's no way to recognize it, and it's okay. But there, by the case of the fig, the isser is distinct, right? You can recognize it. So therefore, once hukar gufa isser, it's no longer tareves, and it's pashas that you have to remove that one and give it to the Kohen. Okay, so now we have a 2 dots. I wonder if the art scroll has a header over here. Yes. Grisim shenis bashtu im adoshim. It's a header from our Mishnah. Grisim shenis bashtu im adoshim. It's in a Mishnah if they have a no saying tam. Ben sheish b'hem k'dei laos b'echameh, ben she'em laos b'echameh oser. So that was the case in the time where it's mach l'chumra. So the Gemara asks, Rabbi Yoni boy, v'lama l'dina grisim she's bashul ma'oris. Why are we talking about beans that got mixed up with rice? They're cooked together with rice. Why beans that cooked together with lentils? El Masdisin command Omar no tam livgam, and here there's a major gears of change. The Rash Civilio, the Rav Fulda, the Levi Yerushalmi, is going. The reason why I said the reason which you cooked with adoshim tells us that even though it's nice in time of gam, it's also. Normally we pass nice in time of gam is mutter. If our mission to talk about a case of greasing with rice, it would have been a case of nice in time of gam, nice time of shvach, and the and that's pashas also. But our mission is to tell us that even greasing with adoshim, it's nice in time of gam, it remains also. No, so it's more. I feel command the mar nice time begam mutter. Even going to shows nice time begam is mutter. Moda uhacha. Here he concedes the point that it would be awesome nonetheless. Why? Because should who moda uhacha should usher here he concedes usher because here he deliberately put it the greasy inside Hashim. He's perhaps he's a bit strange. Most people think greasy inside Hashim is does not taste good, but he obviously, for him, it was also because he put it in deliberately in order to use it as a tavlin. So therefore, him it's also. Okay, I guess it's not bad enough that it's butler died to its on him. Sometimes it's time for gum, but not like they kach, and therefore, for this person who put it in deliberately, it'll be also even though the sam shvach the gum is also for him. It's not considered the sam gum. Okay, so the Gemara says greeting shel truma. It says shenoflu, but almost everybody changed the gears again to sheni's bashlu. Greeting shel truma sheni's bashlu. Doshim shel chulin. They get the obviously Tabba gave it tam, so if it's cooked together, v'yeshem noisim tam, and they have a taste. V'ribal aleim adoshim shel chulin. Now you added Radashim Shchulim, obviously again the issue about the issue would be a problem, so therefore let's assume we did it shogeg. Akama yerba, how much you have to add in order that it should be mutter. Tiflut Rabbi Shmuel, Rabbi Yossi. It's machlekes between Rabbi and Rabbi Shmuel Yossi. According to Rabbi, needs 60 corresponding to the entire initial tarovis, because the chanan chaticha atzmo nasis nebela. The first tarot is considered like Gufa Isser, which obviously means we say Chanan by Shari Surin, not just by Basa B'Cholab. And the Shabbat says only Shishim corresponding to the Greece of Shulchuma, because you don't say Chanan by Shari Surin. Al Daita the Rebbe Doamar Ad Sheyirbu Al Kulhon. It's like we're missing there, but until you have the totality, because of Chanan Chaticha Nasebel, the entirety of the Taroibus becomes as if it's a Dover Osir, so therefore you need to be about the entire initial Taroibus. The only have to have 60 corresponding to the original greasing. We don't say Chaticha Nasebel by Shari Surin. We pass on Chumrah that we do say, I believe it's machlokes between the Chaber and the Ramah, but I'm not looking up inside. But I think there's a machlekes here or there where they say Chanan b'Shai Surin or not. But maybe I'm making it up. It's definitely machlekes, and I think it's machlekes Rishonim in the Bavli, and the Yerushalmi seems to be. I don't think this Yerushalmi is necessarily brought down anywhere in the Bavli, but let me check the article here. Yeah, so the Ran in the Chulin, and this is for the article note 1 on Chafei Merav. The Ran in Chulin proves from the Gemara that depends on Chanan, which is stated by all Eastern, not just Basa B'Cholav, because Rebbe in our Sugya uses that to Gabi Isser Truma. With this, the Ran argues under Rabbeinu Ephraim, it's brought down in the places, so Chulin Daf Kuf, that it says that this cloud of Chanan is only by Basa B'Cholav, but not by other Yisurin. And that's which is of course difficult to paskin like Rabbeinu Ephraim. It's difficult. It's not really paskin like Rebbe. It brings down that there's this is an issue in Shulchan Aruch here there Siman Tzai Beis Siv Dalet. He brings down here in the Chuvei Gusos that the Rabbit seems to understand that this non-issue of Chanam B'Shor Yisurin, it's another issue. But this is again, this is only brought down in the Yerushalmi, this Machlokas of Rabbi Shmuel ben Yossi, which seems to be pertinent to the issue of Chaticha Nas B'Shar Yisurin, and that's why the Ram brings it down there, and the Rabbi has given another pshat. Although the story goes on, that brings us to Bam Chav Dalet Amid Beis, and therefore we will not much the bottom, so we'll stop here and we'll continue with the story tomorrow.